Remakes are certainly the in thing these days in Hollyweird. Not a week seems to go by anymore without Ghoulie Irv getting a sense of deja vu. In recent months, we've had such terror tales dug up as The Stepfather, It's Alive, Sorority Row, My Bloody Valentine, and The Wolfman. And this year, we will see the likes of Piranha 3D, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and Let the Right One In. But what is on the scare schedule for the future? And are these upcoming remakes gruesomely good ideas, or should they be buried immediately? Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds is being tarred and feathered for a new generation thanks to producer Michael Bay, the man responsible for the reboots of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Amityville Horror, Elm Street, and the recent redux of Slash 'em Up shocker Friday the 13th. Naomi Watts is scheduled to get beat playing the Tippi Hedren role under the direction of Martin Campbell, who successfully juiced up the James Bond franchise with Casino Royale, and then took Mel Gibson back to the fold in The Edge of Darkness. Even with the skilled Campbell taking the helm of this new flight of fancy, we say fly away from this idea, because how can anyone ever expect to better Hitch's classic? Bad rear screen projection and all. Remember the 1994 TV movie called The Birds 2 Land's End? Few but Ghoulie Irv do. And even I wish I didn't. When it comes to giving yours truly the creeps, David Cronenberg's The Brood from 1979 is right there. This dysfunctional family nightmare blends the psychological horror with metaphysical mayhem, telling the story of a kooky psychiatrist who creates a race of little demons born out of the patient's anger. They don't come any more startling or original than this one. So why should anyone bother to try and top it? Breck Eisner, son of Michael Eisner, and the filmmaker already responsible for the new version of George Romero's The Crazies, is behind this project. We say check out before the brood checks in, Breck. A remake idea that could work weird wonders is I Saw What You Did, inspired by Schlockmeister William Castle's 1965 shocker about two teenage pranksters who get in trouble making phony phone calls to a guy who kills his wife in order to get snugly with their neighbor, played by Joan Crawford. We hope Dark Horse Comics, the company behind the lackluster remakes of Castle's House on Haunted Hill and 13 Ghosts, realize that the key to this one's success is getting the strong premise right this time. We say stay away from the PG-13 rating that sapped the sadism from the recent The Stepfather remake and go for broke with an R rating. That'll slay both older teen audiences and the baby boomers who fondly recall the original. We hear that Scream creator Wes Craven has supposedly been wooed back to restart the self-referential horror franchise about the Ghostface Killer's reign of terror on teens. Expect originals Neve Campbell and David Arquette to make appearances in the Weinstein Company's resurrection of the series. What else are the Weinsteins going to do after all? A sequel to 9 called 9.5? With fresh writing and new young faces, Scream might once again scare us. And finally, Suspiria, one of the films the original Scream salutes, is said to be going in front of the cameras again. This redo of Dario Argento's 1977 hallucinatory study of Satanism at a girls' boarding school will likely be directed by David Gordon Green, the man behind such serious dramas as All the Real Girls and Undertow, and that wacky weed farce, Pineapple Express. Ghoulie Irv usually says, don't tinker with the classics, but in this case, I must confess to being curious about Green's take on Dario's devilish delight. And with a rumored Natalie Portman in the lead, this project has strong possibilities to scare the peanuts out of your M&Ms. Well, ghouls and gals, we've just about run out of time, and we haven't even scratched the surface of all the chiller classics about to be mauled by the remake monster. Ready or not, one, possibly two new takes or stakes into the heart of Vlad Dracula's legends are coming. It looks like the Frankenstein monster is about to go on the march once again with an attempt to adapt the Dean Koontz series of books, not to mention a return trip to fish for the creature from the Black Lagoon. The femme-centered fear frenzy, I spit on your grave, patooey, is on the docket of Dread 2. Next thing you know, they'll be talking about a remake of Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead.